I leave you my name also. Now I am ashamed to be a Chiricahua. I will take the name Mexican enemies have given me. The whites will learn it, and you will learn it. From now on, I am Geronimo.
Jay Silverheels made history as the first Native American to play a Native American character on TV. He became well known as Tonto in The Lone Ranger. However, behind the scenes, things were troubling. In 1957, when someone asked him about his famous role, he said just 3 words: "Tonto is stupid." He faced more issues. He earned half as much as his white co-star. A director once even tried to attack him on set. The name Tonto was something he could never escape. Today, we are revealing the story of the man who smiled on camera, but suffered in silence. Early life growing up in poverty on the reserve. Jay Silverheels, born Harold J. Smith on May 26, 1912, grew up on the Six Nations of the Grand River Reserve near Hagersville, Ontario. He was part of a large Mohawk family with at least 10 siblings living in a small home. They faced poverty every day. His father, Alexander George Edwin Smith, was a World War I war hero but struggled after returning home. He lost his hearing from blasts and worked hard on a small farm, making only $49 a month from the Canadian government. His medals did not help pay the bills or ease his pain. Harold watched his parents work hard. His mom, Mabel, who had Mohawk and Seneca heritage, kept the family together. They used traditional remedies since they couldn't afford doctors. They survived by farming, bartering, and using herbal knowledge passed down through generations. Poverty was a constant presence in their lives. By age 5, Harold was fast, running around local lacrosse games on the reserve. At 19, he turned professional with the Toronto Tomahawks, playing under the name Harry Smith. His cousins and brothers, Porky, Beef, and Chubby, played with him. Throughout the 1930s, they traveled for games, looking for pay and earning a reputation. The name Silverheels came about after a memorable play in which he outran a defender, making his shoes appear silver. Fans loved it, and soon he was scoring over 4 goals a game. Coaches often had to double up defenders to keep him in check. However, growing up during this time was not easy. Residential schools in Canada took Indigenous children away from their families to kill the Indian, save the man. At Six Nations, speaking Mohawk was punished. Harold's sister was sent away and struggled to return home. This trauma affected many families. Society labeled Indigenous people as lazy and unproductive, and it affected how they were treated. The Great Depression worsened their situation, forcing the Smith family to move to Buffalo in search of work. Harold took on various jobs to help. His father was in pain, and his mother traded valuable items for food. They often received spoiled food. This situation hurt their dignity. Still, Harold persevered. Lacrosse helped him find opportunities. He went pro in 1932. With his $75 salary feeling like a fortune during the Depression, he got into a fight during a match in Montreal, resulting in a suspension. When he returned, his popularity grew and he continued to play. He then turned to boxing, competing in the Golden Gloves at Madison Square Garden. Unfortunately, a strong punch shattered his jaw, ending his boxing career. However, the prize money helped him keep going. In 1937, while touring LA with his lacrosse team, comedian Joe E. Brown noticed him at Gilmore Stadium and offered him a small role in a film Harold worked hard, doing a stunt dive in 11 takes for $150, double what he earned from a game. He got hooked on acting and, by the end of the year, had appeared in 5 films. Though not yet a star, he had taken his first steps in the film industry, entering Hollywood, stunts, stereotypes, and survival. Jay Silverheels faced many challenges when he started in Hollywood. He struggled as a stuntman, earning less than $20 a day while working as a waiter at night to survive. In 1939, he got a break with the film Drums Along the Mohawk, which paid him $350 a week. His biggest paycheck yet, studios liked the name Silverheels because it sounded exotic. He officially adopted it and started taking minor roles as unnamed native characters. Casting directors often treated him poorly, asking him to remove his shirt and focus on his physique rather than his skills. Despite this, Jay worked hard, learned his lines, and continued to get work. By 1941, he landed his first speaking role. He had already appeared in over 15 films, primarily as uncredited soldiers or warriors in the background. A friend encouraged him to read Shakespeare, telling him that if he could handle that, he could read anything. Jay embraced this challenge, knowing it would help him grow. World War II interrupted his career, but he returned in 1945 as Jay Silverheels, ready to work hard again. Unfortunately, Hollywood's struggles persisted. Native roles often went to white actors in makeup, while real indigenous talent received few, often degrading, opportunities. In 1946, Jay lost weight to fit into a costume for an audition for Captain from Castile. The director still made him go through the humiliating shirt-off routine, but he got the role. The movie did poorly, yet he remained uncredited even though he had lines. Traveling with his lacrosse team through the South exposed him to racism. Hotels refused to serve him, and restaurants turned him away. He often had to sleep on the bus, while his white teammates stayed in hotels. In Louisville, police confronted him for using a whites-only restroom. This mistreatment was common. Because of these experiences, once he gained a voice in Hollywood, Jay worked to advocate for better representation and authentic stories. After 10 years of struggle, John Huston cast Jay in Key Largo in 1948. Alongside Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, Jay played Tom Osceola, a Seminole on the run. This was his first significant role in a studio film. They filmed for 78 days on Warner Brothers' lot in Burbank, creating a Florida setting on a tight budget. For Jay, this marked his move from being overlooked to gaining recognition. In 1950, the film Broken Arrow aimed to show Native Americans positively. However, it used Jeff Chandler, a white actor in brownface, as Cochise. The role of Geronimo went to Jay, a Canadian Mohawk, who brought real emotion to his performance. Despite its good intentions, Hollywood still preferred casting white actors for critical roles, ignoring true Native talent. In 1949, Jay's career changed when he won the role of Tonto in The Lone Ranger, competing against 35 others. For the first time, a Native actor voiced a Native character on television, unlike radio, where white actors voiced Tonto. This achievement came with challenges. The character's name, which means fool or stupid in Spanish, bothered Jay. He expressed frustration about the role, stating in 1957, "Tonto is stupid." Though Jay aimed for an authentic portrayal and often improvised to avoid the stereotype of broken English, many Hollywood directors preferred clichés. His commitment to genuine representation sometimes frustrated them, but his co-star, Clayton Moore, supported his approach. Off the set, they often changed in gas station bathrooms due to budget constraints. Despite the fame from The Lone Ranger, which aired 221 episodes over 8 seasons, Jay felt limited and frustrated by his role as Tonto. The character's stereotype overshadowed his intelligence and passion, and he struggled to gain recognition. In 1955, Jay suffered a heart attack during a rehearsal. Even though he was athletic and played lacrosse and boxing, his smoking habits hurt his health. He recovered for 8 weeks, during which Dan Reed covered for him. They explained Tonto's absence by saying he was in Washington with the Great White Father. This comment highlighted the ongoing complexities of representation during that time, personal life, family struggles amid fame. Jay Silverheels, named initially Harold Smith, was a family man. He married Mary D. Roma in 1945 and raised 4 children, Jay Jr., Marilyn, Pamela, and Karen. From his first marriage to Bobby Smith, he also had 2 children, Steve and Gail. Known for his humor, he joked about his mixed heritage on The Tonight Show, while also honoring his Mohawk grandfather and rich cultural background. In 1953, Jay played Satanta, a Kiowa chief, in Arrow in the Dust, acting alongside Maureen O'Hara and Jeff Chandler. Even though the script wasn't strong, Jay's performance added depth to the character. In 1954, he starred as Tago in Drums Across the River, a Western with Audie Murphy that touched on Native issues and land conflicts. Jay showcased his athletic abilities with impressive stunts. After the TV series The Lone Ranger ended in 1956, he returned as Tonto in 2 films, The Lone Ranger and The Lost City of Gold, both with Clayton Moore. While these films did not become blockbusters, they provided steady work. In the 1960s, Tonto's character changed, and offers for roles became less common. Jay also appeared on Western TV shows like Daniel Boone, but he had little dialogue. Typecasting limited his opportunities, earning him $100,000 a season during The Lone Ranger, which was significantly less than his co-star's pay. As the Native rights movement gained strength, activists criticized Tonto as a harmful stereotype, leading to fewer roles for Jay. Instead of stepping back, he co-founded the Indian Actors Workshop in Los Angeles in the early 60s to support Native talent through training and community building. In the late 30s, Jay faced tough times. Stunt work and extra roles paid very little, and his first marriage fell apart due to these struggles. He later married Mary DeRoma, with whom he faced the ups and downs of his career while raising their 4 children. In the 70s, he found more significant roles, but health problems began to arise. He received a Hollywood Walk of Fame star shortly before he passed away on March 5, 1980, from complications related to a stroke. His son, Jay Silverheels Jr., took over the role of Tonto in 1981's The Legend of the Lone Ranger, continuing his father's legacy and advocating for Native stories, legacy. From Tonto to trailblazer for Native representation. In 1966, Jay Silverheels started the Indian Actors Workshop to help Native artists. His work opened doors for people like Graham Greene, who was nominated for an Oscar for Dances with Wolves and starred in Smoke Signals, the first major film by Native filmmakers. Jay Silverheels left a strong legacy. He was inducted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame in 1993 and the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 1997. His portrait celebrates his journey from poverty to success. Today, every Indigenous creator and actor continues their legacy. Despite facing stereotypes, Jay embraced his identity. He famously introduced himself on The Tonight Show in 1969 with humor and confidence. He was more than just Tonto. He was a pioneer and a fighter for future generations. What stands out to you about Jay's legacy? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this inspiring, please like and subscribe for more stories of overlooked heroes. Thanks for joining.